Jai Sri Ram. Welcome everybody to Bharat Marg.
Vikram,
Jai Sri Ram to Vinay Ji, the political analyst from Toronto. And thank you for joining Bharat Marg, Vinay Ji. Thank you for all the viewers. And I just want to, today's topic is Peel Police in Canada charged its own constable, Sukhdev Sangha. Okay, that's what we are going. It's one constable in robbery case, and some of the things we will discuss about with Vinay Ji is now he has been suspended with pay. I don't know why with the pay. Let's see what Vinay Ji has to say. We will love to hear it, and we will also go through other names of the people uh, who got what do you call that,
charged.
charged in this case. Okay, so we will do that, but before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on it, and also share it with as many people as you can, because you have to understand what kind of drama baji is happening here in Canada, and that's what it is all about. And if you are here for the first time, make sure to like the subscribe the channel, and also press the notification button to make sure that you get notified as we go live. Okay, again, back to Vinay Ji. Vinay Ji, thank you for joining us. And yeah, the Peel Police in Canada charges its own constable, Sukhdev Sangha, in the robbery case. What do you say about it?
I am actually very surprised, but it's coincidental that another police officer was arrested from Peel Police on the same day in Niagara Falls.
Hmm.
Coincidental, isn't it?
You know the name?
Yes, I will give you the name in a second. Actually, his
Okay.
name is Christopher Habjan.
Okay.
Christopher Habjan also was arrested on the same day, but in Niagara Falls on a different charge. But let's talk about this police constable, Sukhdev Sangha, who's been charged with one count of robbery.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who actually worked with him, they've also been charged. And apparently, the three other people that there's some connection between him and these three that have been charged in connection with the incident. So
Mm-hmm.
the names of these people are Karanveer Sangha, and I'm just looking at the last name Sangha because Sukhdev Sangha, the police constable, and Karanveer Sangha, one of the accused. Is there a connection? I'm not sure, but you guys, I'll leave it to the viewers to decide. And then there's another person by name Sukhdeep Kandola and Jasmeen Bassi. The first two are from Brampton. The third one, Jasmeen Bassi, is from Markham. And they were all previously charged with one count of robbery. And same thing with Sukhdev Sangha. He's been charged with one count of robbery. And apparently this incident occurred on January 29th, somewhere close to Queen Mary Drive and Sandwood Parkway, near Cassie Campbell Community Center, which is northwest of Brampton. Coming back to this, I mean, you brought up a good question about why has he been suspended with pay? Unfortunately, the way police service rules, are written, the police officer, any police officer for that matter, if he's charged on any count of anything, right, any criminal charges or whatever, he cannot be suspended without pay. He has to be suspended with pay because this is an allegation. So until the charges are proved, then he'll continue to get paid. Once the charges are proved, then they stop paying him, and there could be dismissal. So that's
And
how
will they
police
take
services.
back the money during the time he was paid for free?
Not really, because up until the court decides the allegation is true, he'll continue to get paid. But once the court decides, then on from that day onwards, his pay will be cut. So that's
That's
the way
cool.
police service
Now
rules
he
work.
can get the pay and do whatever he wants.
Well,
This may take some
apparently
time.
he was arrested, and so the well, I'm just kind of trying to see if this happened on the October 18th, which was about 3 days ago, right? And he was produced before the court, and the Peel police are asking for any other uh, witnesses or any other people who have gone through any robbery in the recent times to come out in the open and complain to the police. So unfortunately, this is the way it works.
And Semi, RP is asking you, are these Khalistani policemen? Of course, what do you say? It's a good question.
That's a great question, but I'm not sure. I don't want to comment on that because it's like especially when you're talking about Peel Police, I don't want to get into anything that's kind of controversial. So I'm not sure. I don't want to comment on that. But the way things are going on in Brampton, especially, there's a lot of activity of the Khalistanis in Brampton, and the Khalistanis are especially seeking funds, raising funds, and whatever to get this this whole movement going. Uh,
Referendum.
Referendum and movement. They're their own Khalistani movement, right? That whole thing they're kind of trying to fund it. And who knows? I'm not sure. I'm just putting it out there, but we'll find out in due course of time. So.
Absolutely. And now, Semi, you have any idea about the recruitment process? Can we trust if tomorrow some, God forbid, some policeman comes and knocks on your door with a uniform? Okay. I asked this to one of the gentlemen running for the election, and he said you cannot make judgment with the limited number of samples. You know, but what do you say? In
Yeah,
Canada, this is
it's only.
happening in Canada.
I mean,
And what is the Vinayji? My question is twofold. What is their recruiting process? Do they vet the person before they do it, or they do it because they just recruit them? And
no, no.
how
Peel,
can we
Peel
trust them?
Police, Peel Police. I know. I've gone through their websites and all that, and I know their recruitment process is extremely, strict, regimented, and diligent. They do a lot of due diligence before they hire an officer. Because they do the criminal background check, they do their, other than the criminal background check, they also make sure that he has got references, solid references from the community, solid references from his previous workplace and whatever. And then they also obviously go through written tests and physical tests and all that before they kind of get recruited. So it's a whole process that goes through. They
So
spend
community
pretty much.
means Gurudwara. If it gives also, that will be considered a community reference.
I would assume so. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I would assume
And
so
and
because it's
RP
part
is
of the
in full
community.
flow today. RP is in full flow today. He's saying raising money for referendum law or for drugs.
Yeah, because the thing is, end of the day, right? The community service is very important for this police officers who are joining, because they'll find out if they've done so many hours of community service in the past. And I think Gurudwara also is counted as community service if they've worked in the Gurudwara or if they've done some voluntary service at Gurudwaras. And the thing is, yes, it takes weeks before a police officer gets recruited from the start to finish, right? And they go through an interview process and all that. Now, coming back to your other question about what was the second question you had? Sorry.
Second question is, how long it takes when they do get the punishment, do they get the money recovered, and how can we trust the people if somebody is knocking the door of the Canadian
Okay.
police?
So that's a very, very good question. How can we trust somebody who is knocking on your door? I'm going to put something out there for you and for the viewers, and I'll leave it again to your judgment. In the last 1 month, 30 days, okay,
Mhm.
uh, exactly 30 days, there were three police officers who were accused of different things. So,
Wow.
including Sukhdev Sangha, that was accused of robbery on October 18th. There was another incident that happened, and this gentleman by name Christopher Habjan is another Peel police officer, and he was arrested by Niagara Regional Police on October 13th and charged with criminal harassment. And the Peel police, said that the charges are related to an off-duty incident. And again, the officer has been suspended with pay pursuant to provisions of the Ontario Police Services Act. And he was released from custody Friday following a bail hearing in Ontario Court of Justice in St. Catharines. So, the court has asked the officer to come back in November to answer to the charges. So this is one, all right?
Mhm.
And another one, a third one, happened on September 23rd, 2022, just about less than a month ago. Another police officer was charged with impaired driving following a crash in Mississauga.
Mhm.
And the single vehicle collision occurred near Royal Windsor Drive, east of Winston Churchill Boulevard, around 2 a.m. So he was drunk at 2 a.m. and driving, and he crashed into somebody.
This is Peel police also.
Another Peel police officer,
Wow.
Constable Terence Bailey, who was off duty at the time of the crash. Okay, so his charge, he was
Constable name is what? Charan Bailey.
Terence Bailey.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and his blood alcohol exceeded the limit, and again, Peel police has charged him, and he has been suspended with pay as per the provisions of the Police Services Act. And he's scheduled to appear in Brampton in November in the court to, defend his charges. So defend the charges. So this is what's happened in the last 30 days. So you see there's some kind of, I'm not saying there's a connection, because one is charged for impaired driving, the other one is charged for criminal harassment, the third one is charged for robbery. And there's no connection absolutely in terms of the charges. But what is common here is all three are police officers. All three belong to Peel police.
See, I honestly believe some hole in the recruitment process. Otherwise, how can you have so many people come across? We don't know. This is what three got caught, but we don't know how many bad apples there. Means
Absolutely.
I'm not putting down any police officers. I am sure many of them do a fantastic job. Other than taking, I remember we were doing a sting against the Peel police, where the Peel police was doing. They hoisted the Khalistani flag on their car top, and we asked about that over there. But what I'm saying is, and also they go to these kind of events and things like that, but many of the time there are more than 20 break-ins happen every day in Brampton, and there is no support from the police. These are all the things we discussed during that meet with the police. But now so many police getting caught for these kind of activities. Do you think Peel police has to come out and kind of gain the confidence of the people? Are you thinking
I,
it's
I,
okay?
I think it's a very important, move from them. It would be a very important move from them, because end of the day, police, end of the day, are part of the community. They are our community guards, and they help us through any events, during during events for protecting the public, helping us with any criminal activities,
Mhm.
things like that, right? I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on the police.
Absolutely.
So they have to come out and explain what's going on, and maybe these are bad apples, it doesn't really reflect on the entire Peel police.
Mhm.
uh, However, they have to rethink maybe a part of their recruitment process to make sure that these things don't happen, these things don't get repeated. because no matter what, no matter how diligent your recruitment process is, things happen. I mean, there's no control over it. However, Peel Police also has a responsibility to answer to the public.
But I want to ask you a question. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Um, this is not relevant exactly to this, but it is relevant. That when you have like we have seen the Indian police. Okay, they don't come on the news too much on this kind of activities, having billion plus people. You know, and how come the small sector of from where they choose the police come into so much of you know illegal activity in it?
Um, a lot of times, I mean, I wouldn't say that completely that things don't happen in India, because things do happen in India. Some of them don't get exposed, maybe because end of the day, media also has a responsibility. Public also has a responsibility to report such incidents, and sometimes these people are under duress, and they kind of are afraid that tomorrow if I complain against a police officer, then there could be repercussions. So sometimes it gets hidden. So I'm not going to be completely judgmental about this, how things are done in India. But let's focusing just on what's happening in Brampton and sorry, in Peel region. So we have to, like I said, number one, get Peel Police to rethink how their recruitment process is done, because they may have to add a couple of maybe things or caveats or whatever, right, to ensure that these things are not repeated.
Hmm.
Especially, like, I'm talking in 30 days, 3 incidents, right? That's a
Hmm.
lot. That's a lot. No matter
That's
what.
a
I mean,
lot.
you can say bad apples, you can say bad, whatever, right? It happens only once in a while. But in 30 days, if 3 incidents have come out in the open, then there's something going on. So Peel Police have to rethink that. And they have to come out, number two, they have to come out in the open, have a press conference of some sort, and say, you know what, this has happened, and this is what we are going to
I agree with you on that.
doing
Yep.
to fix it.
Totally agree with you, Vinayji. You put it like always. You just cut to the chase of it. That is, 3 incidents in 30 days where the police is involved in the Peel Police is involved in the illegal activities. Tomorrow, for us or our children to open the door when they show the badge and threaten us to open the door. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
just don't. They have a way of saying you better open the door. You know what
No,
I mean?
absolutely the most important thing between a police officer and public is trust. If
Absolutely.
you cannot, like, I tell my kids, right, when I take them to any public events or big parks or some high crowd places or whatever, I tell them, hey, listen, if you ever get lost, or if you go missing, please go and talk to an officer in uniform, and tell them who you are. And that's the trust. We trust the police because this is how it is. And we just don't want them to kind of betray the trust.
Absolutely. You put it right. And again, we will request Peel Police to come out and do a press conference like Vinayji said exactly, so that you can gain back the trust. And if any holes are there, caveats in the recruitment process, they have to see how to fix it, because it's a very, very important thing for the people to have trust on the people who are so called guarding them. you know but
Absolutely.
I want to say you there are some great people in Peel Police too. Okay, it's not like
100%.
let's
Yeah.
let's not brush them all with one broad brush. And like you exactly said, we have today the trust. If the child get lost, they can go and freely talk to the police. And we have belief. The question is, it is their responsibility now to make sure it is being protected also. Okay, that's
Absolutely.
the thing. Again, thank you very much, Vinayji. Appreciate your coming in and joining Bharat Marg. And you putting, you add so much value in your, the way you discuss, you make sure that the person can understand it. They don't need to
Thank
be
you.
an expert. A person could be as ordinary as me can understand it. Appreciate it, what you do. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Sri Ram, Jai
Jai
Sri
Shri Ram.
Ram.